course, I'll want to talk about the story structure of this book, as I thought it was one of the more interesting parts of the book. We will start out with the first half. We are treated to an oscillating pair of perspectives. We start with Nick Dunn and his troubles, and then switch over to a diary entry of Amy Dunn. We learn that Amy has gone missing through Nick's perspective, and then we see from Amy's diary entries, which are conspicuously dated back to when they first met, about her life and developing relationship with Nick. What unravels is essentially a horror show. You learn that Amy and Nick's relationship has turned sour, that he has been cheating, and you even learn that Nick has been physically aggressive with her. She bought a gun to keep herself safe from him. This information is scattered between the two perspectives. Nick looks more guilty by the minute, less likable by the minute, and Amy ever more likable. The problem is that we know Nick didn't kill her. The halfway point changes everything. The story structure changes. We are dropped from the diary entries that we saw Amy from beforehand, and we are suddenly plunged into Amy's actual perspective. In other words, Amy is actually alive. More significantly, the twist happened around the halfway point of the story, so it left things up in the air, placing the reader in the head of Amy, rather than leaving them to the diary entries, completely reorients the reader's perspective of the character in their mind. As a second-order effect, it reorients their understanding of what happened. The fact that her story was told through diary entries in the beginning makes you realize that it can all be reinterpreted. At first, you think it is because she was killed. Now you learn it's because she wrote a fake diary that was intended to frame her husband. All of the strange questions that began to pop up at the beginning of the book start to fall into place. Why does Nick look guilty as hell, despite us being in his head and knowing otherwise? Flynn's use of the diary entries was perfect, namely through the use of multiple interpretations, and also through plot relevance, once the police got their hands onto the diary later in the story.